It's the last day of January. It's still cold and raining. We haven't still sowed any seeds yet. I don't know whether it's watching you lot sowing all your seeds or out of guilt, whatever. I think I better get some seeds done. Before we get down to the nitty gritty stuff, I just want to show you this. I've had a visit again from my old friend Mr. Rodent. Been coming in that hole there, so I think I'll just give him some breakfast. Now my method of pest control, I find this very successful. I get this from Wilco, but I know you can get it from other places. It's called the Big Cheese. For those of you who watch Jacko's Allotment, Mark Jackson, he's had problems with rats in his polytunnel, and this is the sort of thing it is. It's just a little bait block. All I do, I'll just pop that down the hole there, and he'll come for his breakfast, take it back to the nest, and I'll keep replenishing it every morning until it stays there. Then I know it's done the trick. I'm just about to sow my leeks now, and what I sow them in every year is this quite a deep pot. It's actually a pot from David Austin's rosing. For those of you who grow roses will be familiar with that name. David Austin is a international well-known rose breeder. Lives about, well, his shop's about 10 miles away from my nursery. Now that's what I do, but if you look, quite big holes in the bottom, so what I do, I'll get a bit of kitchen roll, pop that into the bottom. It allows good drainage, but at the same time it doesn't let the water and soil just pop out straight away. So well done. Now I'll fill it up with Levington's F2 plus S compost, and then I'll get sowing the leeks. For those of you who are regular viewers will see I've put the label on, which is the normal electrician's tape with a Sharpie pen. In the previous past I have done using plant labels, but my first year on the allotment I grew quite a few brassicas, and I managed to get the plant labels mixed up, and as such I had quite a good mixture in that year. Doing it this way, at least the marking is semi-permanent, so there's no chance of the label getting lost. So that's what I do. Moving over on to here, I did say earlier that I'd use Levington's F2 plus S. And for those of you that haven't had the pleasure of this, and I say it is a pleasure, it's the best seed compost and modular compost I've ever come across. No rubbish in it or anything. In the early days I used obviously DIY stuff and stuff from B&Q and that, and after sieving it, the crap would come out. You was paying for half a bag of rubbish, so you pay a bit extra for this, but in my belief it is the best seed sowing compost you can buy. That's Levington's F2 plus S. When I had my first greenhouse about 30 years ago, I made a little set of tools. One of them's this fine seed sieve. And the other thing, I made about 3 of these little soil tampers. Just a bit of, this was marine ply at the time, with wood and some little brass screws in the bottom. And use that for tamping. Made these about 3 or 4 different sizes. I've still got them knocking around in the greenhouse, and I just use them for, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, just firming the soil lightly before ready for sowing. tend to find with the leeks, I'll get sporadic germination. I'll get some come up more or less straight away, then some will be 3 or 4 weeks behind, but it doesn't really matter. Last year I hardly had any success with the leeks, as when I planted them out, the plan was to cover them up straight away, but it was a job I did tomorrow. Well, tomorrow was too late. By the time I covered them up, leek moth had gone in and more or less wiped the crop out. Okay, just give them a little drink to bed the seeds in, although the compost was fairly moist anyway. What I might do, because I'm not putting any heat in it at all on here, is wrap the pot in a bit of bubble wrap polythene, and also put a bit of glass on the top to keep our rodent friends out. So that's the first sowing of 2017. The season's begun. I've got a pack of sweet peas here next to go in. Normally these are usually up and above the soil now, but I'm a bit late this year. As those who watch the channel all know, my usual technique is to soak them for over 24 hours before I put the sowing in, and you find the pea splits, expands, and I personally get good germination doing that way. That there is rainwater, what I've just got out the butt. We've got loads of that outside. So what I'll do now is empty the packet into the trough there, and I'll be sowing these tomorrow. Well, I'm into a little break now. I'd like to answer a quick question which was posted onto one of my videos, maybe 2 or 3 videos ago, I'm not sure how long ago it was. It was regarding the allotments and how they work. I think the viewer was from America or Canada or somewhere like that, and I know all this allotments in the UK is a whole new ball game for you guys. But the way it works is that basically in the UK we've got allotments, and either council owned or privately owned. With the council owned ones, which it's difficult to describe there, I suppose in America your areas are divided up into counties and municipalities, and then even I think they go down even farther into townships. I have a friend who I visit most years in a place called Allotments in Florida, and he's very keen on how that allotments works. So the site I'm on at the moment is run by my local council, which is the governing body of the area, and they set aside set amount of land in different areas where people can pay a nominal fee each year and use a section of the land for growing fruit and vegetables, and certain areas flowers and that. Each one has got different set of rules depending on where in the country you are. I mean, the one I'm on now is not allowed any livestock, chickens and stuff like that, but other areas you are. So the one I'm on is run by the council, although this year last year April, I forgot we're into 2017, last year April we did form a small committee on the side where amongst the 5 of us who are on the committee we can decide and sort out issues on the plot on behalf of the rest of the members. The area I'm on is there's 21 plots on the site, and also my plot measures 75 feet 25 yards by 30 feet 10 yards. I think that's more or less a standard size of a full plot, although we have got I think it's 4 on here which are divided into 2, so they're actually half plots for people. Regarding any issues on the site, the committee tried to sort them out, but the end of the day the final shout comes from the council guys. Now, like most areas of the UK, the council's strapped for cash, struggling for money, and our site, particularly in our area, our city, the councils are urging the allotments to actually go self-managed. What that means is that you generate your own cash from rent. You charge each plot holder rent. At the moment we're paying £38 per year for a full-size plot, which with the per exchange rate now is probably about $32 US dollars. And by going self-managed, you generate your own rent, and all that money then becomes yours. But you do have to take out a payment to pay for water, the water companies to supply water to the site, and also a third-party liability insurance to cover accidents and stuff like that on there. But in general, you potentially can generate a fair income, and also there's other ways of income making. There's some sites which are a lot bigger than ours. They have a little shop or a store on site which sells gardening sundries like compost, seeds and stuff like that. That is something we may look into in the future on this site, but as it is at the moment. Then once you are self-managed, you then can draw up your own constitution, a set of rules, regulations, and then all the plot holders then need to agree to that and to continue on, and then you can administer any disciplines or warnings accordingly as and when required. Well, that answers your question briefly, and we'll carry on with a bit more gardening now. A friend of mine who's given his plot up 3 or 4 miles away from where I live has kindly donated these pallet collars. As you can see from the bottom one, they expand out into a square form, and they're modular, so they slot on top of each other with these metal corners there. I'm not sure what to do with them yet, but an idea I was thinking about yesterday was to move them down to the end of this apple tree, stick them on the end here, stack them up about 5 high, and use them then as a store for my leaf mould. I think that's looking favourite at the moment. Hello folks, you join me on what is a glorious day today. After the last 3 or 4 days we've had torrential rain. It seems to have perked up, and we've got what I call a bonus day. Not been around on the plot for a few days, well, a couple of weeks actually. Been up and down the country taking my daughter to university interviews. She was up Leeds last week, York yesterday, Sheffield next week. So I'm grabbing each day as I can when the weather allows me. I was driving through our estate Sunday, I think it was, and as a true gardener I spotted a skip on the front of someone's garden, and the closer look inside, I found a thing which is close to my heart. I knocked the door and spoke to the guy, and he says, yeah, help yourself, I'll just show you. And this is it. It's my old friend, the loft water tank. It's this one here is 25 gallons, a bit bigger than the others I got. You may recall last year that Alan Jackson kindly visited me pot and he popped down with a couple of tanks for me. I've already got 4. Alan bought me 2. That one there's 5. I'll just get another one there and it'll make the 6 up, and that'll do me then for the carrot beds. The guy I spoke to is actually a builder doing work on his own house, and he's actually replaced the roof, the tiles, and in the skip also was a lot of tiler's lath, roof battening. I asked him if I could have that, and he says, yeah, sure, but looking at it, it's been on there 25, 30 years, so it's not actually tannalised, but I think I might nip round and have a look, see what's available just before the skip goes. Anyway, as a thank you for him, I'm going to dig up a couple of parsnips, and I've got some onions in there, greenhouse, and I'll take them round as a thank you. There's another couple of decent parsnips again. For anybody who is having difficulty growing parsnips at all, I strongly recommend you try this method of boring a hole in the ground, putting sieve compost in, and even using these collars on. These are drain pipes, but you could use 3-inch pots, 4-inch pots, just chop the bottom off and put them in, and they act as protection for the seedlings. But I'm happy with them again. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all the people that left lovely messages and condolences to our friend Norm, who passed away a few weeks ago. It was his funeral nearly almost a week ago now, and it was a nice day. But most amazing thing at the church service, I estimated there was about between 350 and 400 people were attending the service. It was a lovely service, if there's such a thing, and it was a true celebration of his life. And as I come out the church, I stood around a bit, spoke to a few people, and it was most noticeable there wasn't a tear in sight. It was people. It was a joyous affair and a fantastic send-off. So thanks very much for your comments. Pottering around on YouTube, I come across a channel which I was quite impressed with, and I'd like to share it with you. It's called Fen Allotment, and I'll put the link at the bottom of the page for you to have a look if you want to. It grows some nice onions. It's got some decent sized onions on the go at the moment. It does use grow tent, and it's got a lovely big greenhouse. It's the same model as mine, a Rhino, only it's much bigger, and he's just put a petition in to heat a smaller section. So he's got some nice onions now if you want to go and have a look. I know a couple of names I recognise in the comments. I'm already looking at there. We haven't got many subscribers yet, and for the quality of the channel, I think it deserves a few more. So if you want to go over, have a quick look, and if you like what you see, press the thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. I'm sure you'll appreciate it. Well folks, it looks like rain stopped play again. While I was waiting in between the shows, I decided to check my phone, have a look, and I always have a look on YouTube, see what new videos have been uploaded. I noticed that Michael Jacobs has uploaded one, and in this one, the latest one, he's interviewing a few of his fellow plot elders, which is well worth a look. One thing he did mention, he'd actually purchased some Enviromesh type stuff to cover part of his carrot box. He got these from Keith Morgan over at EASYNETS, and he's very, very happy with it, Mike is. I had a quick look on Keith's website, and anybody after a Polytunnel, no frills, he's got some on there. I think there's 3 different sizes, and them a fairly decent, good price. So if you're after something like that, have a look. The other thing is you can use a frame and have it covered with like insect netting or mesh or whatever you like. So it's well worth a look. I'll drop a link at the bottom of the page. The other thing, I did send Keith a text and mention it, and he says a bit later on in the season he will have replacement covers as well, so it's well worth a look. My wife has just sent me a text saying the parcel's arrived, so I'm assuming this will be my heat-treated onion sets from Marshall's. So rather than risk running over my allotted time for this episode, I'll save that for the next one. So until next time, I'll see you later. Bye for now.